Right, okay. I really apologise, folks. That was my bad internet that has caused a little bit of chaos at the beginning of our first live show for a couple of weeks as well. A little bit out of practice, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, we're all done. Nigel, it's shared to your group as well, so we're underway.
Right.
Let's just go round table. Say hello, everyone. Hello, Nigel, and how are you? And how you been?
Yeah, I've been all right, mate. Been a pretty quiet week, to be honest, but back to work last night. Had a good one last night and some good football on at the weekends.
Okay, let's quickly, swiftly move there. The glories of being live. Darren, you're in the top corner today. How are you, sir?
Brilliant, mate. I feel chuffed to bits and honoured. I finally made it into the top corner.
To the top.
Anyway, I'm good, mate. Been a nice week. I've spent most of it job hunting, actually, because although I've got a lot of job I'm in at the moment, I get two paid over to another at the beginning of April on a career change. So, anyone out there? I'm your man.
We might need some drivers soon. You've been driving an ambulance.
I have indeed.
Yeah, what is it? You just had enough of that, have you? Or?
No, I work for the NHS, and we got we lost the contract basically to a private, so we're moving over to some privates.
Oh,
but it's probably time for a change now anyway. So yeah, I'm on the lookout. I'm on the job hunt.
I suppose it's not football related, but there you go. The NHS going private after all.
Yeah,
we won't get into politics then, right?
No,
okay.
no.
Tom, how are you?
Yeah, all good. Cheers, guys. Nice busy week. Nice bit of football this weekend, mate.
Absolutely.
All good in the hood, my friend.
Right. Okay. For some reason, we ain't going live. I wonder why that was low. We're not live. Oh, man. Right. Okay. So let me just... Right, okay. I'm going to start a conversation off because we're not live on X, so it's really going wrong today. That's probably why we've not been doing live for a little while. Hey, so let's kick off the conversation, guys. We've had a few results today come through. Tottenham Leicester. Wow, that's a bit of a result, isn't it? But just. Give me some of your highlights of the weekend from games, if you wouldn't mind, gentlemen, just while I sort this little issue out. Nigel, you start with you.
You got to start with. Yeah, you got to start with Bournemouth's result against Forest. I think that's. I think that was a standout result on the Saturday. But yeah, Everton got a good away win. Liverpool business as usual. Man City good result 3-1. Bit worried about my two teams in the Championship, Derby and Watford. Watford are slipping down the table, and Derby are in the relegation zone now. So, but it's been some good surprise results going about this weekend. How about you, lads? Yeah.
So
yeah, there's been a few bits knocking about this weekend, hasn't there? To be fair,
We're
Premier
there.
League wise, again, it's decision making again, isn't it? I think I saw the Arsenal Wolves game. Miles Lewis-Skelly. The young fullback that Arsenal got there, he looks to be coming on really well, and that was never a sending off, not in a million years. I'll be interested to see what other people think about that. To be fair, I watched a piece. Alan Shearer was talking about it, and he was just absolutely spot on. It was never a red card in a million years. He's broke up the play with a tackle.
No.
It's a yellow card. It's a yellow card. They're saying about the scrape down the shin, but there was no malice there. He just wanted to break up the play and stop the opposing team breaking away. It's a yellow card. Stupid.
That's what you wear shin pads for, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. I always wore them, even as a kid. Somebody kicked me in the shin, you get up and get on with it. I've been 9 or 10 years old, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? Silly.
That was never
Me and
upset.
Darren,
No, not in a million years.
Because we don't know what you're talking about. I only watch English League football nowadays.
I'm gonna shock horror.
I don't watch the International Premier League.
Neither do I as a rule. It was just something that popped up and I saw it and just thought, crazy. Top level, we know, don't we? Top level football's been gone for a long while, hasn't it?
We've got some good subjects to talk about today, guys, and we're all back up and running fully now. Apologies to everyone. Little bit of a dodgy start for us. Our first live for, I think, 3 weeks now. internet got in the way of a clean start. So look, let's just quickly cover off a couple of Premier League results, and we can move away and do Nigel's favourite bit about some non-league. Maybe, I don't know yet, but we'll see. Bournemouth, what's going on? We said this last week. They give Newcastle a good hiding at home 4-1. Newcastle come back well this week with a 3-1 win at Southampton, but they dumped the informed side Forest 5-0. What's going on? Nige, come on. I know you've got a lot to say about this.
Yeah, it's your favourite club, isn't it, Bournemouth?
Yeah,
I mean, listen, it's not just a win for them. They spanked their asses, Forest. Now, Forest have been on one hell of a run, but I did say, even last time we went live, that the interesting bit will come when Forest get beat, whether they bounce back from that straight away. So it'll be interesting. Everyone's going their search for the top 4, get back into Europe. And I want to see how they come out in the next 2 games. And if they bounce back, then fair play to them. But Bournemouth just crept into it, innit? I think they're 6th in the league. Is it 6th or 7th? But they've just gone under the radar, haven't they?
Yeah, unbelievable that one.
As for Tottenham and Postecoglou, they're on about he's going to get sacked. We're talking about it today about the fact that I think he's gone something like 5 or 6 games without a win. So he's on the verge of getting a taxi.
Guys, what are your thoughts on Bournemouth? What are your thoughts on Tottenham? I mean, Forest getting a good hiding there. I mean, like Nigel said earlier before we came on, there's some interesting results throughout the pyramid actually, and we're going to be discussing a number of significant results all the way through the pyramid tonight. But yeah, Bournemouth, Tom.
Well, yeah, they were a team in form, aren't they? It was 2 teams in form. I didn't quite expect it to go like that. I expected it to obviously be a lot closer, as I'm sure many people did. But generally speaking, looking at the result and the quality that Bournemouth have got in that side, they can do that to anybody in the Premier League. The way that they're playing, they can honestly do that to anybody. They're really good going forward, and their boys up top are absolutely clinical as well. So I am surprised, but I'm not, if that makes sense. I knew they were capable, but did I expect it? No. But yeah, you've got to take your hat up to them and say fair play.
No, absolutely. All right. So obviously, Man City there, Nigel. I know your boyhood team. Man City getting 3-1 win over Chelsea. Is that back on track now? Would you say? Is it fair to say they're back on track a little bit now? They're back in the top 4, aren't they?
Yeah, they weren't going to go on a losing run.
I mean, obviously midweek they didn't have a great result, did they, against PSG? But
no, I watched the game. I felt sorry for the young lad that came into the side for Man City. The lad had just bought 20 years old. He gave the first goal away to them, and then he got booked about a minute later. So all in the space of 4 minutes, he's been booked, and he's been responsible for them taking the lead. But yeah, it was a good game of football. I watched it right to the end, and it was quite interesting that what's his name, manager of Man City. He was having a good chat with Cole Palmer.
I've seen pictures. A bit cosy, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't a 5-minute talk either. He was speaking for about 10, 15 minutes. I think it was something like, "Don't worry, you'll be back with us soon."
Just quickly say good evening to Nick. Nick, how did Crawley get on? We'll have a look at that one for you a little bit later on. Nick's a Crawley fan. Just to remind everyone, when we're live, you can comment, you can get involved. We want you to get involved. You can ask questions, put comments up about the topics we're discussing. If you want us to discuss a topic, fire it up, whatever platform you're on, just drop the message on and hopefully we pick it up. But yeah, so don't forget, get involved, people. We'd love you to. Let's move off some of the games now. Let's just quickly, a busy weekend out and about at football games yesterday. Darren, let's just touch on, you was at Kettering Town, another home defeat for them, 2-1 to Bromsgrove, was it? It was Bromsgrove, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've gone off the boil a bit, mate. What was your sort of take on what's happening there then?
Well, I can only judge it obviously through the 90 minutes I saw yesterday. They never really turned up. Take nothing away from Bromsgrove Sporting. I thought they were magnificent. They started the day 2 places and 2 points above the relegation zone. So I thought this is a good game for Kettering to get back on track. But like I said, yeah, they flattered to deceive. Bromsgrove started very, very quickly and got a couple of goals up at half time. And the Poppies, although they got one back early in the second half, the expected onslaught never happened, and the away side were comfortable and well-worthy winners. It's actually the Poppies' 4th defeat in a row in all competitions this year. January they've had 3 league defeats and a midweek cup defeat, which is not that important, but in the grand scheme of things. But speaking to a lot of Kettering fans after the match, they're worried. They're very worried that the bubble has burst. They're questioning the tactics because last week the manager said that he wouldn't play Niall Ranger and Jonathan Edwards up front together again. One up front works for that side, and they were paired up front again this week. Edwards got pulled off at half time. They reverted back to wingers, but yeah, it's concerning times for Kettering. But maybe I'm a bit biased because I really like the fella, but I back the manager, Richard Lavery, and all said and done, they've got a game midweek on Tuesday, and if they win that, they go top. Happy days.
Yeah, I mean, they've accumulated a number of games in hand. They were flying, weren't they? And obviously, like Man City, they've had a bit of a dodgy patch. We should keep a keen eye on what's happening there. Obviously, one of the clubs that we visited a couple of times this season. So yeah, we'll keep a close eye on the goings on at Latimer Park. So yesterday, Prop Football decided to descend mob-handed. There was 3 of us down to Bedworth United's ground to watch and have a look at what's going on with Nuneation Borough. They were playing Birstall United. So just a quick one on this because we had a great day. I'm sure Tom will agree in a moment. It was a great day down there, and it's so Nuneation Borough obviously have had very traumatic few years. I think they've gone bust or into administration 3 times. Real dodgy ownership, poor financial management, as a lot of clubs suffer, unfortunately. But we wanted to go along there because, people are, oh, here we go again. Yeah, Nuneation, yeah, here we go. But it's very different. This is the fans have wanted to save football for the town. Unfortunately, they haven't got a ground at the moment. So the Bedworth United have kindly offered up their facility. Not a bad little facility either. It's really interesting because they've become a community business club or something like that. And we're going to be doing a piece on it. We've got some interviews with their financial people and all that. But it's all driven by the fans. And it's a non-profit organisation. So any money that this club makes has to go back. It has to go back into the club. So very interesting, heavily pushed and organised by a steering group of about 20 odd fans. It was really refreshing. So keep an eye on that. But I've got a clip of the second goal, and then I'll just get some comments off Tom, who was with us as well on yesterday. But I'm just going to show you this goal, guys. So this is non-league step 6 or pyramid tier 10. Right. I just watch this goal because the build up to it is quite significant, I think, and a good, well taken goal at the end of it. But the man behind the camera on this occasion wasn't me, thank God. I was downstairs finding a burger. This was Tom. So all the shaky stuff, don't blame me, yeah. But no, just take a look at this. What I say, it's the build up. Bearing in mind this is a tier 10 club, the build up to this goal, pretty impressive. There you go. Not bad, was it? Nice build up. Nice run of play. It was faster than what the camera was sort of giving it, because that was stuttering a bit, I think, because of the internet connection issues we're having. But yeah, great goal, Tom. I'm not going to say too much because we've got a big write up and interviews coming out. Keep an eye out for that. But it was a really interesting day, wasn't it? And what a great goal, actually.
Yeah, the goal itself was a really good advert for football at that level. To be fair, I think you go into everything with an expectation of what you're going to go and see, and that passage of play there and the finish as well surpassed my expectations hugely. But the best thing about the day was obviously meeting people within the club that were just so passionate about moving it forward and moving it in the right direction. The club gets a lot of bad press, and I understand that, but I truly believe after speaking to people yesterday, the people that we met. They want to do the right things. They want to move it in the right direction. And it is going to be different this time. I'd put my neck out there and say that after meeting those guys yesterday, 100%.
See, Tom, I don't think you're being that honest with us now, because I think the best part of the day for you was when you were stood there, said, I'm going to have a walk round and mingle with the fans and take in some of the atmosphere. I better leave my pint here. I said, why? You can take it down, will you? And he went, what do you mean? I said, you can drink pitch side. No.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't know. I didn't know. So
non-league football, mate. I just said,
get down there.
Mate,
Get on it. Non-league football. Take your pints. Pitch side, no problem. All good.
Carlton Town gas.
That was funny, man. That is. I just went. He went. Well, I'll leave the pint here. Can you watch it? I better not take it because I'm going to have a one. No. I went, it's non-league. And he looks at me. I said, non-league, mate. You can take the
I'm never going to live that one down, am I, really?
Oh, dear. That was quite amusing. But, guys, obviously, you see that goal there. Mate, the footage was a bit shaky in terms of, like, it was buffering a bit. But, Nigel, it wasn't a bad build-up at that level, was it? They played the ball around quite nicely. It was a good finish.
Yeah, but still, having talked to their chairman who was on our show.
Oh,
he's saying that.
Yeah, that's right. He was on,
he is saying that most of his players are still of the standard that they were in before they got relegated or whatever it was. So you would expect them to be beating teams that aren't playing at the same standards as they are. So, but it was a good build up. It was a good goal, but it'd be nice to see it in proper speed.
You know what? Probably people watching this did see it. The problem, we seem to buffer a bit. But to be fair, Birstall didn't look like scoring, in all honesty. They weren't very strong up front. They had a good couple of good saves were made. But overall, I thought they were quite good in midfield, though. They were playing the ball around quite nicely, weren't they, Tom?
Yeah, they controlled it. I said to a couple of people there, they probably didn't want to hear it, in fairness, but I said, I thought Birstall had the better of the first half. They controlled the ball in middle of the park really well.
Good domination and
they did. They moved the ball around, but there was no end product, like you alluded to there. Once they got the ball into the final, and that was the difference. Once they got the ball into the final third, they didn't really have an idea. But as soon as Nuneation got up the other end, they were clinical. Simple as that. That was the difference on the day.
Yeah, it's interesting that that was your sort of like introduction to that level of football, and like you were just saying there, it surpassed your expectations a bit. I mean, I've been to a couple like Sutton United the other week. What a cracking game of football! Me and Dan were at Hadley the other beginning of January. Again, end to end, cracking game. Really enjoyed it. So I think people should not dismiss, because I was talking to the chairman and they were saying that there are fans that just won't come because it's step 6. They won't come. So they've got a group. There are a number of their supporter base that just don't want to come to a step 6 game, which seems a shame because I don't think the football's as bad as what people think it is. I think the quality of non-league football has risen. And I come back to what we've said in the show a number of times. When you look at the top 2 tiers of our pyramid, they're probably about 75, 80% non-British players. So somewhere in there, Nigel, 30 years ago, it was, there was a very, very small amount of foreign imports coming into the game. Now there's more foreign imports playing in them top tiers than what in the top two tiers really than what there are English lads. So I think you've got a glut of talent down in the lower leagues that maybe 30 years ago in Nigel's day would have been. Yes, go on, mate.
Yeah, you're right. Only last week there was a guy who left Leamington in the National League North, I should say, to go to Shrewsbury. But only 2 seasons ago, he was playing Step 5 football for Coventry United. His name escapes me, but he's a forward, and it just goes to show that there are scouts out there watching.
Yeah. There is a lot of talent down there, and like I say, unfortunately, I guess it's become really. Nige, back in your day, there was a route, wasn't there? You had to go through the turmoil of trying to get recognised and everything else. But I would imagine nowadays, it's harder for an English lad to have that break, isn't it? What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely changed. And again, it all goes down to the agents these days. Like the club will order a player like he's ordering a takeaway. So like,
I never thought of it that way.
No,
yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
They ring the agent. They say, I need a centre forward. Agents get to work, and if they're abroad, they buy them. But I don't. There's not enough. There's not enough young lads coming through the academies at the moment that are getting a chance. When I was playing for Watford, if he was good enough, he was old enough. But I go back to Watford saying that Tom Cleary's had no money to spend, but where's the players coming out of the youth academy to go on that side? Same with Derby, haven't got any money to spend. So what are they doing with the youth academy? They're not producing players that can play first team football at 18 or 19. So something's wrong there. But I think the main reason, like you say, that there's so many foreign players is that probably back in my day, you was looking to buy within the UK. There wasn't a lot of foreign players coming over. One because a lot of them would cost quite a lot of money. But nowadays, it's like you say, it's like buying a player on the internet.
Yeah,
just
order your player and let the agent do the rest.
You know what? I can see Uber getting in on the act now. Dial player. Oh dear. It's true, don't it? I never thought of it that way. Let's order a player for next week. Mark's just let's just put it up there. Just saying about cheers, guys. We really appreciate and thank you for your time and support. Mark, we found, I think, discussed it afterwards with Tom. I know Darren and Nigel would agree with this as well. At the end of the day, we as proper football, it's all about the fans as far as we're concerned, and the community. And what yesterday showed us was how this club is about the fans, and it is the fans that have driven to where you are now. You're getting a lot of bad press through obviously history. You're always going to be entwined in the fabric of the previous entity, but people need to understand that it's a very different entity. We've got someone there, Joe Bridgewater Nunny, and how many more times does it come? John, just to reply, let me just pop that up so you can see that. This is what proper football's about. We want to promote, and that completely, speaking to them yesterday, I completely get it. 3 times that they have been badly owned and badly management of finances have been bad, and the owners have not been any better, and they know that. But the difference on this occasion, and we did see this yesterday in an abundance, because we spoke to many of the fans who've been involved with doing a steering group. The fans said, we've had enough. We don't want to lose football for this town. We've had enough of the way that entity, the previous entity, has been run. We don't want it no more. And this is a very different setup. Very, very different. It's fan owned. It's a community business setup, which means it's non-profit making, and all money has to be sent within that community basis. So, John, honestly, mate, give them a chance. That's all I can say. You know, you are right. How many times, you know, live within their means? These guys are. Their budget is based on their attendance. So they what they've done, they've looked at their, and we're doing a big piece on this, so that we've got interviews with their treasurer and everything. So we are going to sort of try and support them to a degree. They have budgeted their wage structure for one based on their lowest attendance income. That's such a sensible move, you know, and that's how they're operating. And so, John, yeah, I think everyone would agree with you. You know, how many times this is now the fans saying we've had enough. We like you, John. You know, how many times you live within your means? Why'd you do this to us? And they've taken the ball by the horns. They've renamed the club. They're playing down there. So yeah, it's. I think someone's just put up a treasurer's report there now. But John, yeah, honestly, mate, from what we've experienced, seen, the fans really are the ones still saying they've had enough. They've had enough of it, you know. So absolutely. There you go. Yeah, look. Now this is Mark. This is great, isn't it? This is what it's about. So Mark's director at the club, and John, they're inviting you down. Come down, see them to a game as their guest. Mate, they'll look after you. Hospitality was fantastic yesterday, Tom, wasn't it?
Yeah, brilliant.
The way they looked after us. So, mate, take the offer up. Go and have a look at what they're about. And I'd love you then to come on our show, pop on as a guest, and give us your opinion on that. It would be really good. Great. John, take them up on the offer, mate. If you need to, drop us a message and we'll put you in touch with Mark. But yeah, that's great. So, okay, so I've gabbled on a bit now. I'm just going to bring us a little bit of light relief, I think, and then we'll carry on talking football. A couple of things to bring up, and then we'll look at more results. But let's have a little bit of humour, okay? I'm going to take us back to the wonderful days of the super duper pairing of Saint and Greavesy, and this wonderful clip.
We've got a kissogram girl sent on to the referee. It's a Bristol City. Now, take a look at that.
Well, who would want to kiss a referee?
Now, was he reaching for his book there, I wonder?
Who? The referee or the lad in the black stockings? Who does that lad play for in those stockings? He's got a problem.
No, actually, the referee reported it to the league.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
I think it was because she never kissed the linesman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What happened?
But
What was
they
the
got
outcome?
it cleared, I mean,
They got it cleared, did they? Oh,
they
shit.
kissed and made up.
Kissed and made up. I like it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's all the football we've got from you today. And just as we hand back to Dickie, I got a letter from a Michael Gerber who said that when I say it's goodbye from Jimmy and I, he said, well, that's wrong. I've got to say from Jimmy.
The wonderful Jimmy Greaves and Ian St. John. Legends.
We had them.
Legends.
We had them down. We had them down at Watford before the cup final.
Yeah.
They done a day's training with us.
Really?
I think GT nearly killed Jimmy Greaves.
Yeah. I mean, let's
yeah, they come down.
face it. Wasn't it? A great player, wasn't he? Both of them. Ian St. John, Liverpool, obviously. But what a clip, the old strippogram for the ref. The bit that really tickled me was when Greaves turned around and went, who'd want to kiss the ref? But the golden era of punditry, without a doubt. What a pair of legends. So I've lightened that up. So let's move on to a couple of other bits and bobs, and then we'll come back and look at some of the results. We are going to do the penalty shootout, but tonight, gentlemen, it's only going to be one game. You all get one guess, and we'll see who the winner is. Because I couldn't find any attendances other than a certain one, but we'll do that right at the end. Okay, so last week we did mention about the goings on at the Welsh Football Association, in that they are trying to get the 4 English league sides, that's Cardiff, Swansea, Wrexham and Newport County, to take part in the League Cup. The clubs want to do it because it's probably an easy route into a European Conference League and give them a taste of European football. And on top of that, they want Merthyr Town, obviously based in Merthyr Tydfil, South Wales. They wanted Merthyr Town to leave the English pyramid, for which they are currently the leaders in the Southern Premier League South. And they wanted to leave that pyramid and go and join them. There is a history of Merthyr's fan base, by the way, again, another fan-owned club, going, not interested. We're not interested. They were being tantalised and bribed with a £6 million offer over 5 years. That was the incentive for them to join the Welsh League. They also were not invited, like the other Welsh clubs playing in England, were not invited to take part in the League Cup or the Welsh Cup, like that, the other sides, because basically it was being used, I guess, as a bit of a leverage tool to say, well, if you want to take part in it, you're going to have to be in the league. So this week, I think did I pop a photo up? So they voted, and I'm not kidding, right? A lot of people said they're going to do it because of the £6 million. And I've said all the way through this, no, they're not. I don't believe for 1 minute that they are going to do it. And they haven't. 96% of the fan base said, no, we want to stay in the English football pyramid. They are currently top. They are looking like the favourites to go up into, well, who knows, National League North or South. You never know, do you, when you across that middle band. Do you think they're mad, Nigel? What do you think to that? I knew it was going to happen, and fair play to them.
I think you got to look at. I mean, I don't really know a lot about the leagues down below that they're in, but the standard of football they're playing now, they've got to realise whether going into the Welsh League is going to be too easy for them. Secondly, like if the Cardiff boys, the Wrexham decided they wanted to play in that League Cup, they've probably got no chance of winning that. So yeah, I don't know what the standard of football is in that Welsh League.
No, I'm not sure myself.
Obviously, if you're a fan, you don't want to be going into a league where you're watching rubbish every week.
The other bit of news is, which I was coming to, was the fact that the FA have now totally blocked any moves for the 4 Welsh clubs to take part in the Welsh Cup. It ain't happening.
Yeah, that's good.
The FA have stepped in and said no. So that has been knocked on the head as well. If they're going up International League South or North, then the standard of football, I would say, at that level is better than in the Welsh League. Would you agree? Darren, you'd probably have a better idea more than this.
Well, to be honest with you, mate, I've not watched a lot of Welsh football. TNS seem to be doing quite well, don't they? But the standard in the league, the difference between step 3 and step 2, I think is quite big. In saying that, though, Tamworth, a couple of the teams that came up this season in the National League have held their own. But getting back to Merthyr Town, what's interesting, that's the beauty of a fan-owned club. 96% says no, so it's not happening. However, their ambitions will surely be to get into the English Football League. And then when they get into the English Football League, I wonder what will happen with this fan-owned club. Will they start having to get more professional people on board, more decisions made? I think Swansea, back in the day, didn't they? They kind of, I think they were about to go into extinction, and a load of fans got together, and then they appointed a chairman, and they did rise up the league, but the ethos of the club completely changed. So I wonder what will happen, but I'll keep a close eye, that's for sure, on Merthyr Town in the coming years.
Well, we're arranging a visit to them. Hopefully, I've got to speak to the secretary up there. Hopefully, we're going to be popping up there on non-league day. And we are going to go to Great Yarmouth as well. So we're splitting up. So I'll be heading to Merthyr, I think, with Greg. Dan, I don't know what Tom might do, what you're doing, Darren. But I know Dan's going to Yarmouth. I
fancy Merthyr, mate.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Yeah, they're good people. We did we did a coverage of they've got this wonderful memorial garden at the back of the ground. It's a nice little ground as well. You know, 4-sided ground, open air terrace at one end, and they've got this wonderful memorial garden that sits at the back, and we did a big piece on it, and it went down extremely well. So yeah, good on them, I say. And but you are right, Darren, and I guess Nigel, you'd agree with that. Tom, would you agree as well that, you know, there are a number of fan base owned clubs now, but if they start creeping up into league football, if they are successful enough to do that, then
It's it'll happen, guys. There's no way they can keep going up the leagues without getting stronger financially.
Do you know,
strong.
a good question, Nigel. I'll put it to you and to the rest of you, and just come back with whatever. And sorry, I'm just picking up on some of the messages coming in. I'll come to the messages in a minute. So, question is, as a fan-based club, and I learned a lot more yesterday, by the way, with our visit. As a fan-based club, because they are so much more sensible about their finances, because they will budget sensibly, and obviously maybe limit their player budget. Do you think fan-based clubs, and we've got the chairman of Nuneation on and a director, which maybe they might give us an answer. Do you think fan-based clubs could actually? Are they going to have a level, i.e., are they going to get to maybe National League at best, and even that could be a step too far? Because a lot of these non-league clubs that have got the big dodgy owners and the good owners as well, that have got a bit of dough behind them, can fan-based clubs compete? Interesting question. What do you think?
Well, it's like everything in football, guys. You know, if you get promoted into the next league above you, you've got to strengthen your squad. You've got to get maybe get a few players in at a better standard. And the more you keep progressing, the bigger the club gets. I'm not saying it's going to be massively big, but I would definitely say at some stage it won't be a fan-based owned club. You know, I think it will get bigger to a point where there'll be a major investor comes in or something like that. But I like what they're doing with it, though. It's really good that the fans do get a say. But it's like you say, the further they go up, how much of a say do they get then?
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of where they are now. And Nuneation, you know, all the fans are they're playing a part in the side's rise through the divisions. They feel they're on a journey with the club. It's a bit like when I was at Watford, you know, going from the 4th to the 1st. But like I said, as you progress and get bigger, I don't think the fans are going to have that much say in the big decisions.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting. I mean, like I say, the Nuneation perspective. I mean, look, they're many years from ever maybe having that problem, because, like with Bury, Macclesfield, with all the clubs, Rushden, all the clubs, Phoenix clubs that are out there, and there are many. They're not all fan based, but a lot of them are. A lot of them at a restart via the fans, and it takes some years to get back up, doesn't it? You know, like I say, you know, Nuneation now down in step 6. So even if they got back-to-back promotions for the next 4 years, they're still only going to get step 2, which is where they'd like to be. I think that's probably where they're looking at that, thinking. So I guess for Murphy, it depends what is their ambition, or do some of these clubs have a sort of set limit to where they think they can go? I don't know. It's interesting. Darren, you're much connected with non-league. What's your view?
Well, it's a case of be careful what you wish for, isn't it? A year ago, the Nuneation fans didn't have a team to support, so obviously they got together and done amazing things. Now, would they want to rise through the pyramids again, and maybe take the possibility that professional people will come on board, because you need professional people to manage finances and run things, don't you? You really do. But then that could put the club in jeopardy yet again. We've had AFC Wimbledon start up, don't forget, and they've burst through into the leagues, and they seem to be doing fine. But I don't know. I think I guess like each supporter can speak for themselves, but I would say as long as they're doing quite well on the pitch, the fans are enjoying going, and they get a win now and then, they'll be more than happy. They're not thinking about the Football League at the moment. They're just thinking
Oh no,
about
no,
this
not at
season
all.
and next
No,
season.
no, no. No, I think their ambition is to, maybe get back step 3 and see where they go from there.
Yeah, well, none of the Nuneation incarnations previously ever made it to the Football League, so it's asking a lot for this current one to achieve that. But you never know. AFC Wimbledon are everybody's shining example, aren't they?
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Tom, you got any thoughts on any of this?
Fan-based ownership, I love the ideology behind it, and I really do like the model. And I respect it hugely as well. Fans having the say on key decisions, like you say, 90% Mercantilville fans, they stepped in and said, "Look, we don't want this. This is what we want, and this is the direction that we're moving in." And whilst I like that, I do believe that model only takes a club so far. I do believe there will be a point where there'll need to be external investment to push that club forward. I don't like to admit that. I don't like to say that, but I am a realist. And if you look at the game now, as soon as you hit the Football League, there's a big jump in money. And then you have a look. There's only a few examples in recent years of clubs that are doing that organically without external investment. So they're going to have to be. They already have to work harder than everybody else because the resources are less. And I mean that from scouting players all the way through to sort of generating the funds to bring fans into the ground as well. You think about the scouting specifically, they haven't got that money. It's not like ordering a takeaway, as nice at that level. It's not like that. They have to work extremely hard to go and find players. And let's not forget, Nuneaton built that, Nuneaton Town as they are now, built that completely from scratch, and they had to work extra hard to do that. And I don't think that would be achievable. Certainly not at league level. I don't think that'd be achievable.
No, but and this guy, another sort of thought about this for you all to chip in with. So I said this before. So is this truly down to realistically where our higher echelons of football now sit? So Premier League, Championship, it's a business. It's this. Fans come secondary to the business side of things and all that. A lot of clubs, when you look at the lower league, there are community clubs. They do so much for the community. They do more for the community than some of these billionaire clubs, But the model that we now have in our country, if it was the model that Germany have, would that be different? Because Germany has to be 51% owned by the fans, every club. So is this really only not achievable because of the model of our game, as opposed to in Germany, and the model works in Germany, you can't deny it. The fans get looked after. They get respectable pricing. They pack their stadiums out week in, week out. It ain't got the glamour of the Premier League, admittedly, but it is a very different model. A model, if that model was replicated here, would we be saying something different or not?
You know what, Gaz? I think it's an indictment of the times and a sad state of affairs when we even have to talk about this, because back in the day, you didn't get nowhere near as many dodgy owners, and the supporters trusted the board. And you'd still moan and groan about why have we bought players or why have we sold him, but generally it seemed to be more pure, more honest. And nowadays it seems a lot of skullduggery going on. So yeah, it's just a sad state of times now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to mention names. Someone mentioned to me one of the concerns I have about non-league football is how easy it is for someone to buy a club. There's no regulation. I know there's regulation in the league, or to a degree anyway, which doesn't necessarily prevent dodgy owners. We've seen enough. Northampton for a case study there. Northampton, what a dodgy owner they had that run off with £10 million of the money that's supposed to do the new stand. So even the the regulations in the league don't work. There are 0 regulations in non-league from what I can gather, and just as come in and buy a club, and that worried this individual that I spoke to. It was a really good comment, I thought, and he said that's the one big concern he has about it is just how easy it is for anybody come in and buy a club, and there have been some seriously dodgy owners in the past. Sorry, I'll just. Oh dear, sir, how are you? All well, I hope. From Mark. Was someone else pronounced that? Sorry,
Malik Wasim.
Oh, Malik, Mark.
Malik Wasim.
Hang on a minute, Malik.
Should have went to Specsavers.
I
should have went to Specsavers.
Let me clean my glasses. Malik, well, I'm doing all right. How are you boys doing? You're doing all right, aren't you? The rest of you, you're doing all right?
Yeah, sound all good.
God, bloody hell, you're hard work tonight, you guys, isn't you? Okay, so, yeah, that's been an interesting conversation. We'll get on to, let's have a look through some of the results in a minute. Just last couple of bits here that I just wanted to touch on. Obviously, we spoke about the, who was it, leaving at 2-8, Bournemouth, the longest journey in the Premier League, Bournemouth to Newcastle. We spoke about that last week because they made it a 12 o'clock kickoff. I just want to, I think we should do this, is just give some of the fans out there some credit. And obviously, you know, people like Carlisle, Morecambe, Plymouth, they have to do some serious travelling, and likewise some of the fans. So I'm just going to highlight a couple now of fans who need a shout out. So Plymouth fans there going up to Sunderland. That is some journey, that, isn't it? That makes Bournemouth Newcastle look like a around the corner journey, doesn't it?
Good result for them as well.
Yeah, won it. But yeah, they're obviously, you know, getting rid of Gascoigne, getting rid of
Rooney.
Yeah, Rooney, Gascoigne, getting rid of Rooney, bringing in that new manager does seem to have given them a boost, like it does when you do new manager.
Well, I don't know, Gaz. They got a bit of a shoe-in, didn't they, midweek? 5-0 at home, wasn't it, to Burnley?
Oh, they did, didn't? Right, yeah. Okay, thank you for that. I really appreciate it, because the next set of fans, this really does deserve a shout out. Now, this is a midweek game, yeah? Burnley, an 11-hour round trip, all right? And that's credit, innit? You've got to give them credit for that following. What a good following for that. Wow, brilliant. Well done, Burnley. Well done. Thanks for that, Darren. You laid me in nicely there. Smooth, man. Yeah, so, okay. Guys, is there anything you'd like to bring up and stop me rambling on?
No, Ian Hiles is he's one of my mates. He lives in Kilmarnock, but he's English, supports Watford. He's just put there another daft suggestion has been this thing about Rangers and Celtic wanting to join the English leagues. So, yeah, maybe the championship.
There you go. Another
maybe the championship.
But this has been talked about for years, isn't it, Nigel?
Yeah.
Donkey's years, you know. I mean, I can't see it ever happening, can you?
No, because Celtic wouldn't have any silverware, would they, for a few years? I mean, their fans are used to winning cups every year. They wouldn't win any in the Premier League.
No. I mean,
one thing I will say about those two clubs, they don't get the support. They do get the support, but they don't get the financial backing in the
No, they don't.
And the reason for that is because the Scottish League obviously isn't competitive. But you put them in a market that's competitive, the fan base, the infrastructure. Glasgow is obviously a huge city. The grounds, they're fanatical. That they would skyrocket. There'd be investors in them like that, 100%.
Yeah, they would. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, but what division did they start in?
Yeah, this is it. It's going to take them a period of time to get that money, get that going.
Sorry,
I
was going to say nearly every team is going to object against them going straight into that league. You know,
Well, yeah, they've got to earn the right.
If-
They've got to
if
earn
it's-
the right to be there. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
But
if it's-
what I'm referencing is the infrastructure surrounding both of those clubs, the size of the ground, the size of the fan base. Wherever they go, they're well into the tens of
yeah, but
thousands,
what level do they
especially in
start
Europe.
at? What level do they
I
start?
can't answer that
See,
question.
that's what I'm on
I can't
about.
answer that
You know,
question, and I don't think you can either. None of us can.
any team that's missed out on getting promoted from Championship to the Premier League, they're going to moan if Celtic and Rangers are put straight into the Prem.
I don't
Same
get me. Don't misunderstand me. I'm
No, I'm not.
I'm
I'm just
not
saying
saying that
that's-
I'm not saying that I support it. I'm
Yeah.
saying should that happen, that investment will be there straight away for the reasons I've explained.
I totally agree with you. I'm just saying, that where do they start though? Do they
Yeah,
start in
yeah,
League Two?
You couldn't do that to the English pyramid. Just say, oh yeah, all right, go on. Yeah, you'd have to start them
Yeah.
down. They'd have to work their way out, and I don't think they would
So are
want to do
they
that.
going to want to
But
start?
wherever
in
they
League Two?
start, but wherever they start, there's an impact to somebody. So it's not fair that it happens. Is
Yeah,
it? Because
agreed.
there's an
And that's
impact to
why it
somebody
never
somewhere,
happened.
regardless, whether
Yeah.
it be football
Agreed.
league, non-league, it doesn't matter. There's always an impact. So
and
wouldn't
that's
work
why
for me.
it will never happen. It's too
Nah.
complicated.
no, I can't see it.
And it would take them a number of seasons to get up and be. You
I
know,
think
they
that-
would get there because you're right. They're big clubs.
Yeah.
I don't think the problem is I think many clubs struggle to compete with London because players want to be in London. Maybe Manchester's the nearest it comes to that, you know, and that's why Newcastle are always a little bit out of fashion with certain players because they're out in the wilderness as far as some of it. And these, you know what they're like now. You know what I mean? They're all like rich
I think-
kids, didn't they? They want to be in the big
Yeah.
cities.
I think the only way that's ever going to happen with Rangers and Celtic is something that we've talked about loads of times. If eventually there is a breakaway league, they start
Yes.
the Super League.
Yes.
That's the only way that'll happen when if a new league
And
starts.
that is potentially something that will happen, I think, as well.
Yeah.
I think there's potential for that. I don't think there's potential for them to join the Premier League, but you're right. There will at some point it will happen. Would you agree, Darren? You think there'll be a breakaway league, whether it's a European league or whatever?
Yeah, I think it's inevitable that
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
times have changed like nobody's business, haven't they? Especially recently in football. And yeah, I think it's inevitable one day, whether it's they join the English pyramid system right at the bottom, or the breakaway league, as you said, Gaz. Yeah, I believe it will happen one day, and it'll be a shame for the rest of the Scottish Football League. Actually, yeah, real crying shame. But I guess they'll get more chance of getting silverware. Possibly a bit more chance of getting into the Champions League. So, yeah, every cloud has a silver lining.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay,
I think the
look,
champion. I think the Champions League will disappear if there's a breakaway league.
I was just about to
Yeah.
say exactly the same thing. What is the Champions League? If there's a breakaway European League, what's the purpose of the Champions League?
Yeah. Yeah. There is a lot more change to come, isn't there? And that is up the top end of the pyramid. I think we've all got to be honest. Even the fans that support Premier League clubs, the Premier League is an international league. It's not an English league anymore.
You know
I think
what?
we've probably got
Completely
to
agree.
accept that.
You know what, Gaz? That comment from Ian Holes is a really relevant point about Rangers had to, when they went bankrupt. So
Yeah.
what if they missed a trick that they should have resigned from the Scottish League and
And got
applied
in,
to go into the English leagues?
and even started down in the
Did they miss a trick there?
even
Yeah,
went
quite
into
possibly.
non-league and worked their way up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good shout. That's a really good shout because they'd have had to work their way up.
Well
Doesn't matter
done.
when you do it, does it?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
great
what-
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll get back to so you put them in League Two.
No. Right at the
No,
very
no,
bottom.
no. We're saying right
Right,
down into
right.
the non-league.
They
They
won't
have
do
to
that.
go down into almost non-league.
There's no way to do that, right? The fans, they've got too large a fan base to be able to go to them away games. There's no way Rangers or Celtic will do that.
No,
To me,
but
that-
Rangers had to go down 4 leagues.
Yeah, but they were in Scotland then, though, weren't they? They virtually knew they were going to get straight up.
If they played in an English non-league system, though, Kelly, they would have played in, let's say, the Northern Premier League or whatever. So, although it is coming south and past Scotland, it's not like they've got to travel down to London until they start getting into the National League itself, which is like basically Division 5, isn't it?
Right. Okay. So, very good. And this is an even bigger point. Read that one.
Yeah, that's a really
That is a
good
really
point.
good
Yeah.
point, Ian. And
I
you're
don't think
right.
I don't think the English I
that
don't think the English police would
yeah,
be very pleased with
they
them coming
won't
down
want
here
English.
either.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
They
works
won't
both
want
ways,
English
that one, I'm
there.
afraid.
yeah.
It'd be
No.
like war zone every 2 weeks, wouldn't it? But if they were both in there, it would be every week. They would play week about. It wouldn't just be every 2 weeks, Ian, would it? 1 week it'd be Rangers, then next week Celtic. So
Yeah.
every week
Yeah, every
there
week.
would be English fans appearing on the streets of Glasgow. It's a really good point.
Midweek games as well. It could be twice, 3 times a
Yeah.
week.
So he's quite right. Authorities probably wouldn't want it anyway. Ian, there you go. You've prolonged our show now. Guys, let me quickly run through just a quick outstanding results in football over the you just agreed with me there. Yeah, it would be every week. Yeah.
Can we have a quick chat about what's going on at Watford with Tom Cleverley?
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll skip. Everyone knows the results. We'll skip them. Absolutely. Let's talk about Mr. Tom Cleverley and this incredibly ridiculous revolving door at Watford FC.
Yeah, it's like I've never seen so much criticism on social media of the pozos and the way the club's being run. I mean, there's talk of fans wanting other fans to boycott the matches and hit them in the pocket. You know, nobody turned up for the matches. Hit them in the pocket, but I don't think that'll ever happen. But you know, he's got no money to spend. The players that he's working with, I wouldn't call them bad players, but I don't think they're the best. And I've watched them twice now the last 3 weeks. So you know, again, it's like they don't give managers time, do they? They're not giving him time to build a system down there, build a team, and he should have at least a season and a bit, you know, to get things right down there. And he's not a bad manager, but I think the fans are really not happy about this at the moment. And they tried to diffuse it a little bit by coming out saying we're backing Tom 100% and all that lot. And but there's definitely something going on down there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the other thing to bear in mind is as well that the club have really underinvested in that team. There's not the level of investment that Watford have had in their team for quite a few years now. That's not there. They're not investing the money back into the team like they were. So not only is he up against it from that point of view, on paper he's probably got the weakest team that Watford have been putting out for many a year. You know, and to be fair, I don't think it's all right. They're having a bit of a poor run at the moment. But they like Tom Cleverley, the fans, and if they do get rid of him, there will be a serious backlash. And we've, like you say, you've seen it on social media.
There's been more.
Guys, I know me and Nigel are a bit closer to this than you two, but what are your thoughts on it?
It's a merry-go-round there, isn't it? It's a circus. If we're gonna label it, because if you look at it, there's no way that model can ever be successful, because how can anybody build any consistency? How can you have a foundation to build on? It's a complete and utter circus. They chew managers up and spit them out. It's ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it in football or in any walk of life. If you look at Tom Cleverley, for example, you both touched on it. You guys are closer to it than what I am, but from what I know, like you say, they're not spending any money. You've got to look at it and say that Tom Cleverley is overachieving. I think the owners have ambitions, but they're not willing to back those ambitions. And probably half the reason that they haven't got any money to spend on players is because they have to keep paying managers off that they're sacking left, right, and centre. So just have a little bit of nous, think about it, lay a blueprint, lay a foundation, give a manager a chance, unless it's absolutely dog shit, which I understand. And I don't get me wrong, they have had a couple. But again, it's the people at the top that have made those decisions. So make your decisions, stick by it, back your manager, and give him a chance.
I think as well, one of the problems, and this is not a Watford problem per se, is I think a problem that managers face. There aren't many managers now that have any control over who they sign. So if a manager has a particular style, and this is very particular at Watford, because for the last 10 years, I don't think anyone really knows what system Watford do play, because they've had so many managers, but the recruitment is done by people that are not the managers who are going to want to, introduce their style of football. So they're bringing in players that don't fit into the manager's way of playing. You're up against it straight, and that's not just Watford, is it? I mean, that's probably that's probably fair.
Let me put it this way,
right?
Now the Pozzos have given Tom no money to buy players with. There's very little money available.
No.
Watford have slid down. They're still only 2 points outside the playoffs. They've not had a good run. They've had a little bit of a dodgy run, and they're on about getting rid of him because they're not winning games. Well, hold on a minute. So you're expecting Tom to take the side up? Then what money are you going to make available for him when they get in the Premiership, if they do? So he can't win whatever happens, because when they don't invest in players, if they did get promoted to the Premier, they're coming straight back down again. And we've seen that with all the clubs that have been going up, they're coming straight back down again. So I don't understand what their way of thinking is. If they give him the money to spend, and he's spent the money and he's still not producing it, then they've got a reason. But his hands are tied at the moment. I can't see what he can do.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah, agreed. It's a very poor situation, and
they're a laughing stock, Gaz, aren't they? When it comes to the managers, it's like
listen, mate. I mean, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I've moved away from being there week in, week out, home and away for 30, 35. Probably, well, no, what am I on about? I'm older than that.
It sounds like the owners. They want all this glory and success.
I thought I was 40 again then.
Well, the biggest embarrassment has been like they sacked Rob Edwards and he come back to bite him on the arse. They got promoted with Luton, and sort of Watford was still in the Championship.
Do you know though? Sometimes the fans are at fault a little bit as well.
Yeah.
The fans didn't like Rob Edwards.
Maybe they didn't, but
a number of fans did.
Maybe they didn't, but the worst thing that could happen to a Watford supporter, he went to take over Luton and got promoted.
Yeah. Look what he did, took him up. I think the most embarrassing thing for Watford supporters is what you said. People look at Watford as a laughing joke now. Even now, the rumour has gone out there. There's obviously no smoke without fire. So the rumour's out there. There's some substance somewhere to it. And already it's just added to people's perception of Watford. And it's embarrassing for the fans, as well as the fact that they ship the fans to Luton in Harry Potter buses. But never mind. That just shows you the club don't really understand what a derby's all about. Yeah. Right, listen, guys, let's call it a night. We'll finish off with a little competition again. But listen, I'm only giving you one, and it ain't going to help any of you, by the way. Although I'm going to monitor Tom in case he gets a little bit too close to this. I've only got one attendance. I'm going to go round, and you're going to guess the attendance at the game we attended yesterday: Nuneation Town versus Bristol United. What do you believe is the attendance?
Oh God, I want you to go last so I can say higher or lower. Okay,
mate. No. Hang on a minute. Hang on. You wanted to be top corner, mate.
Yeah.
So you're always going to end up going first. So don't give it that bollocks.
Squares,
you
are
okay,
the top I'm going corner. With 489.
Darren, 489. Nigel, what have you got?
Yeah, I'm useless with these. I'll go with.
No, don't think
I'll go with
get,
720.
Wow, you really are not very good at it, are you? Listen, Nigel, it don't matter. Your blushes have been saved by Ian, who has put up there. Anyone else
that's what I was just. That's what I would not to bash the fella, but that's what I was just laughing at. I thought, Jesus Christ, he's even further away than Cali. Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyone that what I will do, I promise next week I will get some more attendance. I'm just trying to find.
It'd be easy if we knew how many the ground held.
Well, it don't hold that. Let's put it that.
Yeah.
3,822. Anyone else would like to have a little chip in there, you feel free. We're going to do this every week. So, yeah, you guys can get in there as well. And who knows, we might start giving out a little gift or something. I don't know. I think we're going to get some little pin badges.
Nice.
Football pin badges. I think
Cool.
we're going to look at doing that. Right, okay. So where are we at, Nigel? Okay, Tom, I'm going to watch you with a scrutiny because you're actually at the game.
Well, what are you going to watch me with? I know the answer.
Do you?
Yeah,
You
I heard it on
actually
the
know the
I heard it on the
answer?
tannoy.
Oh, right, okay.
that,
You're
was worth doing in gas,
You're
wasn't it?
You're barred.
I could have duped you all there completely, but you know, I'm too honest for that. You know.
Yeah. Well, no, if you had, I would have said no. You're barred anyway.
Ian said it.
Don't worry.
Ian
I
said
would
he
have had
pressed
your
an
number,
extra
mate.
2 by mistake.
I
Yeah,
know,
I
I've
did.
seen that. So he pressed an extra 2. So what? Ian, are you saying
I meant
22
87.
then?
He means 382.
You're at
If he's saying 382.
Okay, right. Okay, so Tom, what do you believe the accurate figure is?
403, I think, if I remember rightly.
You good God, you got it wrong.
I knew it was something like that.
405. Now, look, I want to finish each show like this and have a bit of fun, and hopefully, people 382. Do you know what, Ian? You weren't that far away, were you? And what was it, Darren? Was weren't bad either.
Ian was the closest.
9. Well, yeah.
Ian won. He was the closest. He would have won that.
He would have done. But you've been disqualified for pressing too many buttons, mate. Sorry. No, we'd like people to get involved with this, actually. I'm going to do this at the end of each show. Darren's idea, by the way, he came up with this concept of a penalty shootout. And I'm taking it up now. So thanks, Darren. I'm not taking the credit for it. All credit to our man at the top. All hail Darren. Right. I'd like to say I'll see you all next week, but I'm not sure what we are going to be doing. So just keep an eye on our pages and we will inform you of the next live show. If not, keep an eye out for any pre-recorded shows or interviews that we might be doing. And disqualified for mentioning Scottish football, though, Ian said. Brilliant. I'm going to go around the table. Darren, your last
really
words.
enjoyed the show, actually. The wide and varied subjects. Tuesday night, I'm going a bit more football. I'm going to Brackley Town versus Kidderminster Harriers, National League North. If there's a winner in that match, they go top of the table. So it should be a good one.
Who Brackley go top of the
whoever
table?
wins would go top on Tuesday
Oh, really?
night.
Yep. They're doing quite well, Brackley, aren't they?
Yeah, they're only 7 miles from me. So, like, I root for them. And, Kidderminster done them in a playoff final a couple of years ago. So they'll be after a bit of revenge. We will see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nigel,
I
last
totally
words.
agree with you, Taz. I've enjoyed it today. I've got to tell you, Gary knows about this, but I've done a podcast on Wednesday with a guy called Russell Osborne. It's the Three Lions unofficial podcast. So I done that Wednesday. It was quite good, actually. And it should be on YouTube, hopefully next week sometime, but I will be sending a link to Gaz.
I'll have a watch that.
And
Definitely,
we'll be putting the link up on our platforms. It's an audio podcast, isn't it? I'm really looking forward to it, actually, and we will put that up everywhere. And sounds like really
it's all about the
Watford
Days Cup final, the under-21s, the England B side. So it was quite good. It's good to chat with him. So apart from that, good night tonight. And if you want some music later on, I'll be in Mixcloud.
You know where to find him. Quality music and a bit of a giggle. Tom, last words.
Yeah, really good show. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed the discussion with everybody. Just to extend our thanks again to Nuneation Town for the hospitality and the treatment on Saturday. Yeah, thank you very much for having us. We were really well received. Obviously, we've got the main piece coming out. I would also be doing a separate piece just about a bit about the value on the day. A bit more of like a fan-based experience, what you would expect to pay there versus your higher end. just finding everybody a bit of value in football and just trying to champion it a little bit more.
Brilliant. It's what we need. More people championing on the football. Nigel, we're going to get you there one day, mate.
Well, we're going.
We're going to get you there, and you're going to go. I don't want to talk about the Premier League, Gary.
We're not going to league.
Move on.
We're going to league in a few weeks' time, aren't we?
League Town, we are, mate. Yeah, I've got you there, mate.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh yeah. Yes, mate. We got Nigel at League Town. So if anybody would like to join us, I think they're playing Guiseley on the 22nd of February. We will be there. The whole team will be there of behind the scenes. So Greg will be there, Dan will be there, I will be there, Nigel will be there, Darren and Tom won't, I think. Unless Darren wants to come up and all, we'll go right proper my bandy, couldn't we? Darren, I'll catch up with you later in the week, and maybe if you are interested in coming to Murphy with us, we can discuss that. Nigel, catch up with you in a week when you get that link, pass it through. Tom, catch up with you tomorrow. And everyone, have a lovely week, safe week. Keep an eye out for when we're all back on again. And like I say, we will let everyone know when we're out and about. So if ever you want to come and watch a bit of football and meet the boys, then we'll let you know. But League Town on the 22nd of February, there will be another game before that. Oh, there's a number of games we're going to, but we'll let you know more as we get near to the dates. That's it then. I'll end the stream as always. Never ready. It wouldn't be the same if I was ready, though, would it?
Nah,
it wouldn't, would it? Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. Please tell your friends and family about proper football. We need your support. So get behind us, and we will endeavour to promote football, proper football, that is, in the best way possible. From now and from all of us here, have a lovely week. See you all soon.